Realistic versus arcade battles. Which one is the best? Which one is the funniest? Many people will look at the arcade battles with disdain and say, oh, they fly arcade. But is it that bad? I've been flying both ways and we'll try to answer this question today. So follow me and let's find it out. Weapons free. Salute and welcome everybody to the Fighter Driver channel. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the Fighter Driver, and here we are with the F4U-1A Corsair, the Navy version, trying some realistic battles again. I do have better versions of the Corsair right now, but practicing with less performance aircraft is good as it makes you improve your skills, as you have to deal with the superior performance opponents and learn how to explore your strengths as well as mitigate your weaknesses, always trying to bring the fight to the conditions that will favor you the best, right? Easier said than done for sure, and right now I must say that I'm having a hard time flying realistic battles. Well, I won't describe the battles today, I will instead talk about the different aspects of flying realistic versus arcade and how I'm experiencing the two modes. First, I must remind you that I'm a noob in War Thunder, but I have some experience flying air combat simulators as I've flown BMS for quite a long time. But it was a long time ago, I got almost 8 years away from it, and now I'm coming back in War Thunder, and everything here is different. I used to fly stick then, now I'm using keyboard and mouse. I'd use the cockpit view there and fly third person here. I'd fly an F-16C Block 50 there, and here we're flying World War II warbird so far. BMS an extremely realistic F-16 simulator, and War Thunder, well, polemic alert, maybe I'll say something some of you won't like, but for my experience so far, I'd say the realistic mode ain't so realistic after all. Maybe the aircraft performances come close to the real, I honestly don't know, but I guess so, as you do have to worry about many things the real-life pilots would have to deal with, as g-force, speed, acceleration, turn rate, turn radius, etc. But by flying third-person view and being able to maneuver with the keyboard and with the mouse at the same time makes it quite unrealistic to one who comes from an actual realistic sim like me. I'm not using it as an excuse to my lack of skill, I am a noob and I always said that, but those aspects make things even worse to me. I quite often get myself turning or rolling to the opposite direction from which I intended to because of the inverted perspective when looking back from outside the plane, for instance. I have a hard time to manage controlling the throttle, pitch, roll and yaw with one hand on the keyboard. I'm not so fast to keep pushing all those buttons at the same time, so to get some skill in it, I'll have to keep practicing and training my brain to adapt to those issues. I hope I'll eventually get there, but it's a fact that it makes the realistic experience quite unrealistic and very hard for me right now, especially when it comes to defensive maneuvering and managing energy. I believe that flying with a proper flying stick as the one I used to have, I don't have it anymore, it got broken, and from inside the cockpit might be a much more immersive experience, and the simulation mode may be the most realistic of War Thunder modes after all, as it makes one fly and fight from inside the cockpit. I really want to try it as soon as possible, but for it I must get new HOTAS first. And by the way, I want to thank you all who keep supporting the channel by being subscribed and watching the videos, leaving your like, commenting and sharing. You are the best. We are 57 right now on YouTube and 77 on Instagram. The meta is reaching 100 until the end of January. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so if you find this content interesting and useful. You can also help by sharing this video with your friends, leaving your like and your comment here. I count on you to accomplish this mission, and remember, we'll have a server on Discord soon so you can interact and even play with us. I'll bring it here ASAP. Another thing that makes it quite difficult for me and very different from what I was used to when flying BMS is the fact that almost everyone is a lone wolf in War Thunder, and it all comes to skill. When in a realistic scenario, skill certainly would make a difference, but more important than that would be the tactics. Flying formation using offensive and defensive tactics, the players and squads flying with the same aircraft to match performances. When a squad flies using tactics and are well coordinated on them, even if they are not so skilled, it makes a huge difference and increases the effectiveness, as the opponents have to deal with people always covering one another. If you try to take on one, you'll have to deal with the other ones as well. I'm looking for people who want to join a squad to fly Navy with me. If you're interested in it, stay tuned for when the server on Discord comes. I'll coordinate things there. I've had some flights with Sagittarius A like that. You can see some of it in the video that I left for you on the card here on the top right corner and in this video's description. And it was amazing. More about that is coming, right pal? So I say that right now flying realistic isn't being so much fun for me. Maybe after I get a little better in it, who knows? But I want to know from you, from beginners like me to experienced veteran players, how is the experience to you? Which mode do you prefer? Which one is the funniest and which one requires more skill? One of our subs commented in one of the previous videos saying they suck in arcade but master the realistic, and it made me think about it. In part that's why I'm bringing in this video talking about it today. Is it like the arcade is for amateurs? The really skilled pilots are flying realistic? I don't know, I'm not so sure about that, because I agree that flying realistic requires one to master their aircraft's flying envelope. It's much simpler in arcade mode, but I also think that arcade is more dynamic and requires a lot of situational awareness. There are people coming all the time, and if you don't care about being splashed during the battles, that's okay. You can get your next aircraft and respawn. But if, like me, you try to stay alive for the entire match, the story is completely different. Ending a match without being splashed is a very hard task, one I've been trying very hard, and in a certain degree I'm being successful, at least sometimes. In the sequence I'll bring you some matches in which I managed to survive. Now, if you haven't watched the previous episodes of our Mission War Thunder, I recommend you to watch the full playlist, so you can follow our entire journey from the beginning after watching this one. And if Simracing is your thing, you can also watch the Mission Gran Turismo 7 playlist. Cards here on the top right corner and the links in this video's description. Now we'll have two arcade battles on screen, and I managed to survive until the end of them and also get some bandits splashed by using some tactics. It's easier to think about tactics in this mode as I don't have to worry so much about the plane's performance. I mean, you don't lose so much speed as you climb, you can reach really high speeds without tearing the wings off the plane, G-forces don't affect you so much, you can leave the WEP constantly on without the concern of getting the engine overheated. I do so by turning off the need of keeping the throttle button pressed, so I just accelerate to WEP and leave it there, only decreasing speed when diving very fast from high altitudes. It's no doubt that the arcade mode is way easier when looking from this perspective, but how to stay alive during an entire match when in the middle of a furball? It ain't gonna work very well, and actually I talk a little about tactics and the rules a fighter pilot must keep in the episode number 4 of our Mission War Thunder. I'll leave the card and the link for that video here as well. So right now I'm flying the Corsair. It ain't a very good dogfighter, but it is an excellent boom and zoomer once you get altitude, as it's very fast in level flight and amazing when diving, so you can dive over a bandit and climb back to altitude very fast. It can also be a good two-circle fighter against some other planes if you manage its energy well, especially in the vertical fight. So that's what I'm gonna use here, speed, altitude, and situational awareness so I don't get myself trapped in disadvantaged scenarios. Splash 1. So as you can see, I avoided a bandit fighter just by flying high and could concentrate on attacking my target, the bandit attack plane. If the bandit fighter had tried to push the fight against me, I would have the advantage because it was higher than them. Here I go again, diving over that P400 very low, engine to idle, boom and zoom, climb for altitude again, and restart the pattern. So, what do I see when flying arcade battles is people flying low even when they have very powerful aircraft. Surely not everyone does it. There are bandits flying high and making my life more difficult for sure, but they are exceptions. And that will make you vulnerable because you almost certainly end in the middle of a furball or surrounded by bandits. But as in arcade you can respawn, people don't get so worried about it. I don't want to respawn. I want to survive the entire match with the aircraft I started with. I also don't want to get myself in dogfights with other fighters, as they are not my primary mission in battles like that. My primary targets are the attack planes and bombers trying to destroy the ally bases and assets on the ground, so I focus on them. Here's my hint to y'all. If you're flying powerful fighters, try doing this. And even if you're flying less powerful fighters, try to get as much altitude as you can get in the beginning and attack from above. There are a few scenarios in which being low is good for a fighter. Seek this advantage and try to survive with one aircraft until the end of the battle. Even if you don't understand so much about tactics, it will make you a better pilot over time. Another hint is coming into the fight with a plan. Aim for something and stick with it, only getting out of it if there is a very good opportunity or if you're forced to. Don't try to hit and splash the first thing you see in the sky. In many cases, it will get you in trouble. We're in a new battle here and splashed one bandit already. In the previous battle we got 3 bandits splashed, and we'll get 3 again in this one. I see people who get 8, 10 bandits splashed in one battle, but for that they get themselves splashed 5, 6 times in one battle. It happened to me in the beginning, but now I try to avoid those situations as much as I can. In many cases, when I get myself splashed, I don't even respawn anymore. By the way, when I say aim for something, I mean have a plan. For instance, attacking bombers or defending some area and stick with it. Try to accomplish your personal mission without getting yourself killed. Being in arcade or realistic battles, it doesn't matter. For me right now, arcade battles allow me to explore this aspect much better, as I can deal with the aircraft's performance better, as I don't have to worry about it so much. I hope I can get to the point in which I can deal with it in realistic battles as well, and I must say, the realistic battles in which I survived longer were the ones in which I explored the tactics for longer. Every time I act in a reckless way, I get myself splashed very fast, so practice your situational awareness. And if you're having trouble with situational awareness when flying realistic, maybe coming back to arcade for training it could be a good idea after all. And if you can fly with other people as part of a squad, talking real time through Discord for instance, do it. It's a force multiplier even if you're not so skilled like me. The final aspect I want to bring is, it's a game after all, so you must have fun. If you're not having fun with it, so what is the point? Unless it's something you do for a living, having fun might be the primary goal. And if you have more fun flying arcade, go for it. If you have more fun flying realistic, go for it. Is simulation mode your thing? Go for it then. Don't worry so much about other people's opinions, including mine. Do what you like to do. Rivalry and criticism is everywhere and many people take it too seriously. But remember, it's a game. You're playing it to have fun. Do what you like to do, the way you like to do, and don't pay attention to what the others are saying. In the end, it doesn't matter so much. Do pay attention to what people are saying when they want to help you. Otherwise, don't bother. I believe that's the best lesson we can take from it in the end. To finish this video, I want to bring a dogfight I had with Marcelo Lima flying a BF-109. It was an excellent fight and he gave me a hard time. Almost got him but had to disengage as his friends, the bandits in that occasion, were coming and I didn't want to go after him and get myself splashed in the sequence. I loved having this fight against him, and after that we even had a fight as a squad, and I hope we team up again very soon to fly as a squad. I'll be waiting for you, Marcelo, and also for you, Vinicius. Let's team up and fly Navy. for today, guys. I hope you liked it, and if you did so, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends who like Gran Turismo 7 and Simracing, who like War Thunder and aircombatsim. Also consider subscribing to the channel with the notifications bell activated so you'll receive the notifications every time there's a new video here on the channel. I appreciate you who followed me so far. Salute, and I see you on the next mission.